really good to see you all. Thanks for coming out to the Disrupt Virtual Hackathon. So we did things a little bit differently this year. For one thing, it was all virtual and exciting, which meant that people pitched their ideas for the hackathon online. We had more than 120 projects that participated, with more than 1,000 people involved in actually pitching us stuff, which is kind of awesome. We went through all these projects, invited the 30 top projects to come here to San Francisco to participate in Disrupt. And over the last couple of days, our judges over here have selected the top 10. These top 10 will come up on stage with me today and pitch for 2 minutes to kind of tell what they've been doing. And then we'll take some questions from our judges. So, judges, we have 5 amazing judges who have a breadth of experience and really know the space of software and hardware and everything in between. So we have Marilyn Nika, who is a product manager at Google. We have Shasha Chu, who is a tech lead at Pinterest. John Agan, who is the head of partnership engineering at Slack. We have Wendy McKinnon, who's the VP of Product and UX over at Color Genomics. And finally, Jen Taylor, there you are, who's the head of product at Cloudflare. So my fantastic judges over here are going to cast a judging eye, I suppose, on the startups that are about to start pitching. And I think we should just get on with it. Oh, before I do, the top startup here who wins ends up winning $10,000 from TechCrunch. And there's a load of additional sponsors, who I'll go over right at the end, who've offered additional prizes for some of the most interesting startups that are happening, or some of the most interesting hackathon participants who have been pitching with us. Without further ado, with their 2 minutes, and I do mean 2 minutes because they're going to be really, really mean if they go over, just kind of running, beating them off the stage kind of thing. The first on stage is Pulse. Hello, Pulse. Come on up, come on up.
No, we're around. And not Pulse, around.
Oh, okay, around.
Okay. This is our, right here.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, so you're there. You're in front of that. And my HDMI is...
Technology will be the end of us all.
Hello. No. Okay. Okay. And there's a dongle for it. Somebody took my dongle. Hi, everyone. Perfect.
All right, can you do one?
Okay. They're going to project them.
All right, let's pretend that's never happened. The first team up is Around. Yay!
Yay! Hello. In a few years, augmented reality is going to change our world, just like the smartphone did 10 years ago. It's going to enhance our senses in ways we can barely imagine today. If you don't get on board today, by the time the revolution starts, you're going to get left behind. So I took on the Tomtom challenge to build an augmented reality app. And let me show you how this works. Okay, so that's me up there. You're seeing my augmented reality view. And it is a tool for querying the world around us. I didn't get to eat lunch today, so I have a voice interface on this app, and I'm getting kind of hungry. So let's look for pizza. Okay, we got some pizza places. There they are. Spread around. Oh, that one looks pretty good. Not too far away. So this got the data from Tomtom, spatially recognized where they are, mapped into the AR view, and arrayed that around me. I can now contact them. If she goes online. There she is. Hi, pizza place. My name is Ed. I have a group of about 120. How long is the wait?
The wait is about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, perfect. I look forward to it. We'll see you soon. Okay, so now I've talked with my vendor, and I want to go get there, so I have the ability to get maps. That'll take me right there. And the demo gods appease us. We will get routing. So this is a round. It's a way to query and interact with the real world around you, coming to glasses around on your face in 3 to 5 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ariane, for a really good demonstration. Judges, do you have any questions for them? There should be some microphones right in front of you.
So super cool. I'm hungry too. So I like the overlaying of the maps and stuff like that. Where else do you see this? Where else do you see this going?
Well, I think people, visitors, it's a discovery play, basically. Any place where people are trying to learn about their environment, much like the phones are being used today, eventually that's going to move to a new environment. And so any discovery system now, that's where we want to be, because I think the future will be the people who have that conduit. I think one of the great things about this, though, is we're going to learn a lot more about you. We're going to learn where your gaze goes, if you're anxious or have anxiety about your environment. All those things can be read in metrics. And I know 15 years ago, we would have been creeped out about people watching our browsing history, but today we don't give it a second thought. So I think those metrics and things that we'll be able to collect on people will give us a lot more insights into our population.
That is awesome. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much, Ariane.
Okay.
And next up on stage is Crohn's manager.
Where's my phone? Straight to text messaging. Yeah.
I think there's an extra special things that happens when the demo gods get to us, which means that the person who's about to present is now more nervous than they've been in their life. And we do that just to see how good they are at this. Because we're cruel, horrible bastards. Right, it looks like we're ready to demo.
Yes. It's on 0516.
So his passcode was... All right. Here is Crohn's manager with their demo.
Yeah. You know my passwords. So, all right. Hi, everybody. So my name's Ariane Hardison. When I was 16 years old, I was diagnosed with Crohn's. And like anybody, I tried to find out a lot of information. But all of this stuff here is really hard to digest. No pun intended. But when I was 21, so I took a lot of medicines, it's gonna keep doing that, I bet. Yeah. So when I was 21, I got really, really sick. And I went and stayed with this lady, Virginia Harper. She made this book. It's called Controlling Crohn's Disease Naturally. So what she does, she took me, I could barely walk when I went there. And by the time I left, I was running 2 miles a day. That's 11 days. It was $800 a day. And as soon as I left, I started getting sick again. The problem was I couldn't manage this diet. There was so much to do between her checking in on me, looking at my symptoms, changing my foods, and just every single thing that she went through to sort of help me, sorry, this is really kind of hard, to help me make sure that my condition was okay. So because I couldn't follow this diet, I got sicker and sicker and sicker. So I made Crohn's Manager. And what Crohn's Manager does is it uses natural language processing to extract extract this corpus into a knowledge graph and allow you to query that knowledge graph via SMS. So, for example, this book here is written by Jenny Harper. So if I say I want to follow Jenny Harper. So if I say follow Jenny Harper, are you ready to start Cure Crohn's in 90 days? Yes, that's one of the programs that she runs. So everything from that program is in the knowledge graph that is run by this. So I say yes. Yes. All right. So now if I say, okay, now I'm subscribed to that program. So I say, what's for lunch? What's for lunch? What's for lunch? An SCD burger and yogurt, because that program is based on the simple carbohydrate diet. So all the meal plans and all the options and everything from there will come back when I ask for what's for this meal or what's for that meal. I can then, let's say that doesn't work for me, I can follow another one. Cure Crohn's naturally. Follow Tom Mott.
Okay, and I'm afraid that's you out of time there. Do we have any questions from the judges, please?
What would your next platform be other than SMS?
I've already added Google Assistant so that you can, and Alexa, so that you can sort of ask the smart speaker certain questions about how you're doing or key performance indicators. It doesn't just take the knowledge about meal plans, it takes key performance indicators, nutrient guidelines, nutritional settings, essentially any dietary protocol that you're supposed to follow is then extracted and set into a protocol that follows you throughout your day, making sure that you follow it. So if you look here, it uses you can take a picture of everything you eat. It automatically recognizes, you take a picture of whatever you eat, uses image recognition, automatically recognizes what you ate, logs the nutrients in that, so that the next time you log symptoms, it says, okay, well, that thing did cause, is it trigger food or isn't it trigger food? So essentially, it publishes this static book as an interactive AI that learns about you and sort of customizes itself just for you as you go throughout your day. So instead of having to read all this and change your life, it sort of does it all for you. As far as giving them the credits for this, right now, she sells this book on Amazon, $19. She gets about $6. I've set it up so that these are subscriptions. So this would be about a $19 subscription. She would get 70% of that subscription. I would get 30%. So any author that currently has a book that no one can follow, like a diet book or a health book, can use this tool to turn their book into an interactive health coach that people can text, message, and get real-time feedback for. I'm really working hard to make the graph extractor a lot better. Right now I'm using NLTK for my natural language processing and a lot of custom models, but I have a lot of work to do on those. It took a little bit of massaging, but I was able to get 2 of the books with no massaging, and people are actually using them. I have a couple hundred users using it right now daily that I went to every Crohn's book on Facebook and just sort of pinged them all and talked to them and got them using it, and they're helping me sort of tweak things out.
That is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for your demo.
Thanks.
That was Crohn's Manager, a chatbot-based way of doing recipe and diet adherence. So next up is Face Styler. Can we have Face Styler up on stage, please? Yay, Face Styler!
In today's ultra-personalized, influencer-driven economy, users want to be able to try and buy the web in a single tap. To enable that, I'm here today to introduce Face Styler, an augmented reality meets artificial intelligence beauty and style advisor that enables any user with a clear face photo to extract things like makeup, jewelry, eyewear, and even facial hair, and create AR filters to try on the fly. We are democratizing and dramatically reducing the cost of AR filters. No longer are you beholden to developers to create them. You can literally show any face to the camera and extract them. Influencers are able to create looks and instantly share them with their followers to try and buy, and the links for the products used appear next to the filter. Retailers are able to create a truly memorable in-store experience by allowing users to try on virtually every product in the store before making their product selection. On the front end, users create lookbooks, which they can store and go back to for future purchase. We're available on iOS, Android, and WebGL, which means you can try and buy at home, at work, or on the go. On the back end, retailers receive robust analytics about things like facial structure, complexion, style and beauty preferences, and they're able to use artificial intelligence to make smart recommendations for products that we know that our customers will love. Face Styler will dramatically change the way you shop. While we're using facial tracking and focused on things like jewelry and makeup right now, the next iteration of Face Styler will include body tracking, meaning that you can try on clothing, shoes, watches, and anything else that you can think of. You no longer need to receive 5 or 10 products in the mail and return anything that doesn't work out. You can try before you buy. We're available right now, so we hope that you'll join us and have your own personal beauty and style consultant. Thank you.
And 2 extra points for sticking to the time. Exactly. Any questions from the judges?
Yeah, so as you think about this in the roadmap for it going forward, do you see this more as something that's like a standalone application, or do you see this more as a technology that ends up getting kind of licensed and embedded in a variety of different places?
So we're actually exploring both avenues. We've had a lot of interest from beauty and style companies for white labeling this for their own use, which I think is great because right now it's very expensive. We've gotten quotes from anywhere from $20,000 to $60,000 a month for other products to use them, and a lot of that is because the developers need to build those filters, where our extraction technology is unique, and it basically enables the brand to manage it in-house. However, we also think that with the influencer economy, there's a massive opportunity here to create a community within our app so that influencers can push these things in real time. So I do a makeup tutorial. I can literally use any smartphone or webcam, take a picture of my face, and within seconds, instead of just a link under my Instagram photo that says, hey, buy my eyeliner, you can say, hey, come try on my eyeliner, and if you like it, the links appear on the side of the filter, and you can click them, and it directs them with the affiliate marketing link so that the revenue share happens. So we think that there's actually room to do both.
You touched on this a little bit, but how much work do retailers have to do to integrate with the platform?
Little to none. So we can integrate that into their onboarding process for the web. So if you think of an eyewear company, as they're uploading pictures to their own website of eyewear, because of the extraction technology, it can simultaneously push it into their platform. So it truly does reduce the cost like by magnitudes because of the extraction technology.
It's obviously quite a mature product. How much of this was done in the run-up to the hackathon?
Yosin is insanely talented. She built this in 5 days.
That is incredible. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
All right, that was Face Styler, which means I don't ever have to show up on stage wearing these kind of glasses again, which is a good thing. Next up, we have Heart Partner. Heart Partner, up to the stage, please.
Alexa, switch accounts.
Start account.
I don't hear anything.
We have D5 video.
I'm going to ask her again if she's ready. Alexa, switch accounts.
Now in David's account.
Alexa, switch accounts.
Now in Dave's account.
Grandpa went to Africa in the 1930s. He was a cardiologist, and he was fascinated that giraffes didn't pass out when they bent over to take a drink. If a person bends over and takes a drink below their knees, they're going to pass out in about 25 seconds. Over the course of the next 20 years, he invented the arterial bypass machine. His student, Christian Barnard, performed the first heart transplant. Today, millions of people are the benefactors of that. At the end of it, their doctor gives them incredibly complex instructions. They go home, 50% of them take their meds, and less than 20% of them change their diet and change their physical activity. I'm here to pick up where Grandpa left off. Alexa, open Heart Partner.
Great, Dave. Lighthousing.
Sorry about that. I had a frog in my throat. Let's get started. Today we'll begin with a breathing test, and then I've got a great article on restaurant ordering. You can say, breathe, and we'll start the test, or skip, and we can do it later.
Exit. Lots of cool medical tech is going after the 1% problem. We're here for the other 99. There's a couple cool things about it. We are connected into all EMRs and a nursing team and a host of wearables. Number two, the coolest thing is voice can become super boring. So before we say one word, we go through a 5-step process which starts with how engaged is the person, so how long can I talk, standards of care and content, a layer of personality. For any one way to say something, we build it in modules to say it 250 ways so it doesn't become boring, and then security. Last year, we paid $3 million $3 million to let us provide this service to their patients. The disrupt is we help people, and we fundamentally change the economics of the patient, which enables, we think in 10 years, a drug company is going to move like IBM from 90% hardware, 10% service to the inverse. That pharma companies, kind of the poster child for non-accountable care, is going to switch how they make money.
I think on that note, you're out of time, I'm afraid. Thank you very much.
I'm not afraid. There we go.
My lovely judges, any questions? Well, that means you did the best pitch of the day so far. Thank you so much.
No giraffes were injured in the production of this.
All right, thank you so much, Heart Partner. Next up is Janus. I hope I pronounced that right.
It's on D3 with audio coming down D3.
Oh, someone.
Okay.
Good.
That's the wrong one. The one with Janice on D3.
Good.
Go for your life.
Thank you. So healthcare is one of the most technically challenging and costly activities in society, and this is especially true for treatment-intensive conditions such as heart failure. In these areas, analytics technology combined with the growing availability of data can provide a more efficient, personalized, and predictive healthcare experience. Janus is the fastest, easiest way to analyze health data just by talking to it. So let's get some data. Can we connect to Fitbit? So this data could also be from your iPhone Health Kit. This could also be EKG data. And you see we have a brief overview of our data. Janus has also made kind of a brief assessment that our activity has decreased. But let's take this a step further. Janus can even identify complex trends from discrete data sources. Can I talk to you?
How are you feeling, Brian?
I've felt worse today than previous days. I'm very lethargic, and I went up the stairs earlier and had to sit down for a while afterwards because I was short of breath. But I did sleep well last night, though, so I guess that was good.
I am concerned about decreased heart rate and physical activity in the last 72 hours. Let me contact your physician and I will get back to you momentarily.
At which point, your physician might be contacted, and I hope you can hear this.
With decreased heart rate. What would you like to do?
It's not an emergency, but tell him to come in as soon as he can.
Okay, I will notify the patient.
So through a unique application of technology, Janus provides a faster and more personalized healthcare experience. But I want to leave you with this. This voice analytics idea is bigger than heart failure. This technology can be applied to many other treatment-intensive conditions, such as dermatology or surgery, and even outside of hard care, in finance, analyzing large-scale data sets and modeling fraud, or in corporate or sales, analyzing performance and creating reports. The key is pairing a data vacuum with a sophisticated analytics engine and offering it through the most intuitive interface known to all of us, our voice.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from the judges?
Does the physician need anything, or is it just send them a message?
It's scaling out one of these things actually in healthcare to build a business, a very challenging thing to do for many reasons. Where we want to sit is giving patients the ability to own their data. So kind of sitting within the patient's data bubble, so to speak, as much as we can, we'll do that. In this particular demo, it's compelling to be able to reach out to a physician when it's needed to be done. Janus can do that and be kind of the liaison between both if it needs to.
I was really impressed by how well the voice recognition actually picked up the key sentiments in that. How does that work?
So I'm glad you asked. So Janus leverages one API for speech to text, but the actual recognition and kind of analytics ability in the dialogue, that's custom built, and I would really love to be able to patent that someday.
Okay, well, you better get on that then, because now you've told all these people about it.
Yeah, they still got to know how to build it, though.
Sure. It looks really interesting. Any further questions?
Just following up on that then, so where are you getting the training data for this? How are you?
For the healthcare piece or the voice?
Yeah.
So there are many types of machine learning. The example I use is just rule-based, so I'm pulling out pretty simplistic concepts from the actual data. With more data, more scale time to customize the product, we might be able to build out something more neural network-based kind of machine learning, but right now it's pretty simplistic on the back end. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right, that was Janus. Next up on stage, we have Our Block. Our Block up on stage, please.
Calling 911 is old. It's been the method of communication between civilians and police for more than 40 years. Thousands of crimes go unreported every year because it's simply not efficient and too time-consuming. Finally, with all the new data aggregation tools that we have, there's so much data that it's simply not scalable. By empowering the community and leveraging real-time data sharing, our block aims to revolutionize crime reporting between civilians and police. Meet Sue. Sue's walking downtown when she realizes a suspicious person is walking outside of a house with a bag. She doesn't end up reporting this because she thinks it's not relevant. This data ends up being lost. We're a team of computer science students who want to empower the community, so we built our block off 3 platforms. Our block is fast. It leverages deep learning to classify crimes, user data, and location to create reports, all in under 30 seconds. Our block leverages the power of community, allowing civilians to search, update, and view crimes around them while being recorded and receiving tokens. Lastly, our block is serverless and is scaled on a distributed network, so costs are fixed and no physical infrastructure is needed.
For our block, we developed 2 applications. One is a mobile iOS app for civilians, and the other is a desktop application for police forces. On the mobile side, we can see that there's a heat map for looking at crimes around your area, and there's a way to report crimes as well. When we move over to the search function, we can search for crimes that have occurred around you, and you get notifications for any crimes that you're involved in or have reported. Lastly, whenever a crime that you submitted gets resolved successfully, or you helped resolve a crime, you get a token that you can exchange for some sort of real-world compensation. On the police side, we are trying to make things more efficient by using neural networks to better allocate resources, and we're using all of the big data that we gather and presenting it in a beautiful manner for police to use as well. Let's walk through Sue's example. So Sue saw a crime go down, and then she can basically create a report within our block. She can submit this report, and our NLTK algorithms will automatically classify it. We go to the police dashboard, and it'll automatically appear with all the information, as well as the location and a severity that's decided by a number of different things.
And thank you very much. That's your time. Any questions from our panel?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how do you think about abuse scenarios with a product like that?
In terms of abuse, I'm guessing you're referring to spam, right?
Or it could be things like profiling or targeting, that sort of thing.
Definitely. So that's a really big concern that we had. If we can pull up the slide, actually. Yeah, so in terms of what we can do, we're going to be using a bidirectional LSTM and looking at a bunch of, we're trying to acquire training data right now, but we're going to be training it to filter out spam and look at any sort of underlying biases as well.
What if I want to make a report anonymously? Maybe I don't want to be visible.
Yeah, so we actually have that feature. There's a keep report private feature in which both the civilians and police can turn on for high-profile crimes so that everything is private and only tips can be added, but civilians can't view previous tips and location data, for example.
Have you thought about the gamification aspect of it in terms of rewarding people through tokens? What kind of incentives is that going to create?
Definitely. So I can sort of answer a bit of that. So what we're trying to think of there is that if someone submits a report and gets a token in, we're going to be partnering with community partners like maybe a local coffee store or something like that. And if a report is successfully, then these coffee stores will be willing to give out sort of free drinks or whatever because they're benefiting the community as well.
The specific example you mentioned was to replace 911. Do you think this is going to be a sensible way of making sure that civilians give all the information needed for an emergency call?
So the purpose of our system is not to replace 911 altogether as of the moment. It's to kind of get the midway between making a 911 call and not making one, and people end up choosing not to make one. So police don't have access to this data, but we're able to get this data using this system, so police just have more access to data in the long run.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. One block. Next up on the chopping block is Problem Pal, which I imagine is Elon Musk's next company. Problem Pal.
Oh. Yeah. All right.
Correct, he does. He's waking it up right now.
Oh, is it not plugged in? The Alexa. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right. Good to go.
All right. So I'm a high school senior. I'm a full-time high school student, and one of the big problems I notice is that teachers spend a lot of time creating worksheets and lesson plans outside the classroom, and that takes anywhere from like 15 to 20 hours a week. So I used Alexa to build a skill that allows teachers to dynamically create practice worksheets during a lesson or whenever they want to through the Alexa app. Alexa, launch Problem Pal.
Welcome to Problem Pal. Ask me to make questions.
Make some questions about New England Patriots.
Okay, I've made some questions about New England Patriots, and I've shared them to Google Classroom. Enjoy.
So we'll go to the test class here, and we'll wait until we get this updated. All right. All right, so you can see that it's basically uploaded a bunch of these questions onto Google Classroom. And the cool thing about this is that I've also integrated it with the Khan Academy API and the Wolfram Alpha problem generator. So as a teacher, like math, science, any field, you can create dynamic content. And what I'm going to do next is create an online platform where teachers can contribute their own content to it, so the database grows. And to generate these questions from Wikipedia right now, I just use some really simple NLP. My background is in machine learning and deep learning, and I have done a lot of biotech research. So I used some of those NLP techniques we use to read biomedical articles to create this tool. And I think that this is really cool because as a student, the classroom is really a voice-driven environment for students and teachers, and I think voice has a really big part to play in this classroom environment.
Really cool. Thank you so much.
Tell us more about NLP. How would you choose which word to blank out on Wikipedia?
Yeah, so since this was a hackathon project, I just did a really simple blank out scheme. So basically each word's importance is ranked by tagging its part of speech and also computing a similarity score with the rest of the sentence. So based on which words are deemed important by the system, those are the ones that are blanked out. What's cool is that this is the first project to connect the Google Classroom API with Alexa. So anyone else who wants to create new types of questions, now that the Classroom API connection has been made, you can create multiple choice questions for response, a variety.
Sorry, just to clarify, because that was actually my next question. Beyond sort of the blanking out questions, sort of, what kind of question structures do you think you can create now, and where would you want to go, and what would you need to do to get there?
Yeah. So I'm actually the founder of Students Coding Schools, which is a edtech think tank where I develop apps and deploy them in schools. And so the idea is to not just build these blank out questions, but do essay questions, free response, multiple choice. And the Google Classroom API supports a lot of that through the features. So now that I've built the programmatic connection, a lot of it is just what do teachers want to do with it and seeing what they want to do.
All right. Well, you're a hell of a lot more productive than I ever was in high school, so well done for that. But also, congratulations. It was a really good pitch. Thank you. All right, that was Problem Pal. And up next is Pulse. Pulse, to the stage, please. There you go. All yours.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Roman, and I am with Pulse. And we are a community-based outpatient monitoring service designed for those diagnosed with heart failure. Heart failure affects the lives of not just the patient, but also their friends and family, often leaving everyone with a sense of helplessness. With Pulse, we can combat these feelings and tackle heart failure together as a community. To develop this sense of community, we created our care circles. Anyone who's concerned about their loved one's overall health and well-being can use our app and become a member. As a member, you have access to their daily health trends and will receive notifications on how to interact with your loved one to promote healthy behavior. We don't require our heart patient to be tech-savvy or even own a smartphone. Instead, we have them rely on the care circle to receive updates on their daily health trends. So how do we make this happen? Pulse utilizes a completely passive data collection process, only requiring the patient to wear a device on their wrist, such as a Fitbit, at all times. While they're wearing this device, we're interested in collecting 3 different categories of data. And we can transform this raw data using predictive analytics into our health statistics for the care circle. Our predictive analytics benefit from the power of machine learning. And here we're able to detect anomalies, such as heart arrhythmias, but most importantly, we'll be able to predict the risk of health deterioration and quantify this result. We can transform all this health data into our Pulse dashboard, which is easily interpretable by someone with a non-medical background. After joining as a member of the Care Circle, you will also receive 2 different classes of notifications. One encouraging you to interact with your loved one to promote healthy behavior, the other suggesting you seek professional medical attention for your loved one. These can be along the lines of, it looks like Dad didn't receive his daily step goal yesterday. Why don't we head over to his house and take him for a walk? With Pulse, we can tackle heart failure together as a community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions from a panel?
How many people can the circles have?
We're in the early stage of development, but right now we don't see a limit to how many people can join. We think around maybe 3 to 5 will probably be good for the vision that we have in mind, though.
You mentioned doing things like finding arrhythmias. Do you have to worry about any sort of regulatory oversight with a product like that?
Well, Fitbits, they are HIPAA compliant, so the device itself should be okay. We just have to make sure that the rest of our technology stack also follows the same protocols of dealing with patient data.
So you mentioned that the patient doesn't actually need to have a smartphone, but you do rely on a Fitbit. How does that work?
So we just have them wear the device, and then we rely on the care circle. So we assume that the younger generation, the people who are caring about their elderly patient, that they will be the ones who will notify them about their health trends and make sure that they're following the recommended care plan set out by their physician.
So they visit, they sync the device, and then they find out whether or not
Correct.
It's working out. Okay. Who do you see the target audience for this being?
So the primarily people over 65 are the people who have heart failure the most. So we've developed this idea with them in mind, people who are not as tech savvy.
Awesome. Any final questions?
Would you consider prescription medicine, logging prescriptions?
It could be a feature, but right now, since we don't require the patient to actually have a device, it doesn't really make sense for the care circle to be responsible for maintaining that.
Really interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that was polls. Up next is Smart Folios. Smart Folios to the stage, please.
We at Smart Folios are using AI to create highly personalized portfolios that meet financial goals unique to every investor. With this, we aim to level the playing field regardless of the investor's net worth, financial goals, and investment experience. We start by getting to know our user by asking a bunch of questions. So let's board the investment ship. So we start by selecting your age and career. Next, you tell us about your finances, what has been your investing experience in the past, your risk appetite, the different sectors that you want to invest in. So say I choose robotics, technology, women in leadership. Then what is your investment goal? So say I want to save for college and I want this much money in, say, 4 years. And this is how much cash we need in our hand at all times. So now the ML models are doing the heavy lifting. We use the answers that you provided as inputs into our ML models. We first run the asset selection model to choose the relevant set of assets that match your inputs. We then run the optimization model that maximizes the returns while meeting your risk profile. There you go. We see a custom portfolio. So on the right, you see all the stocks that have been selected and their respective weights. And you can click on any asset to see its details. So here you can see it chooses Pepsi, which has a woman CEO, just as we had selected in our questionnaire that we wanted women in leadership. So here are some summary statistics of the portfolio, and then we have a few charts. So here you see the portfolio returns. Our portfolio is in green, and the standard market index is in blue. So you see how our portfolio is doing better than the market. We also have annual returns, drawdowns, and maximum returns percentage. So if you like, you can save the portfolio. And then we have another flow of the app where we have some set of standard curated portfolios for the beginners. These are some popular portfolios which have shown to do well in the past. And we also have a social aspect, like for every portfolio, you can see how many people have added it to see how popular that is.
Thank you very much. Any questions from our judges?
So obviously, people put in their criteria, they change, they invest in the market changes. How do you handle that balancing and specifically also communicating with the user about those changes over time?
Yeah, so right now we basically return the portfolio based on historical returns of the stocks. But in future, we also plan to add rebalancing strategies, which continuously update based on latest market returns of the assets in your portfolio and alerts the user whenever something changes or is not performing as expected. Yeah.
This assumes some basic financial understanding. Would you provide any form of training for the user because they may not understand?
So the onboarding flow with the way we have designed it is supposed to be very easy and simplified enough that any new beginner user can go through it if they read all the descriptions provided. And so our entire premise is that people who already have some experience of investing, but they can do it much better if they have a robo-advisory app, which is available for free. So there are a lot of people who are blindly trading stocks on Robinhood without actually knowing how they may perform in the future. This will actually make it much more quantifiable in terms of their strategies. Yeah.
So actually kind of getting back to the target customer, you talk about it at the beginning about sort of designing it for ease of use. Who do you have in mind? Who do you think is like your primary user?
So we are focusing on users who have just entered into the field of investing, but are still not there to be able to invest very smartly. There are a lot of investment advisors out there who take a very high premium to provide investment advisory services, which are only available to elite people. But we want to make a free app, which makes any common man who wants to invest money smartly to be able to use these features and do those trades. So in future, we also want to add a button in the app, just one invest button, which connects to a brokerage and executes all these trades for them instantly. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Smart Folios.
Thank you.
All right, next up and final is Wellsheet. Wellsheet to the stage, please.
try now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Craig Lamoli, founder of Wellsheet. Wellsheet solves the epidemic of physician burnout by surfacing the most relevant data for physicians using machine learning. Let's jump directly into the product. The first thing the Wellsheet does is bring in information from electronic health records and multiple sources into this one user-friendly Wellsheet view. Then Wellsheet is able to predict the most relevant content based on this physician's specialty and their past practice patterns and visualize that content over a unified timeline that saves the physician a tremendous amount of time and frustration clicking through the electronic health record. Note this would take hundreds of clicks across dozens of screens to produce this type of view within the existing electronic health record systems, and Wellsheet is able to produce it at an instant for a wide range of conditions. If I were to click congestive heart failure, for example, focusing in on a particular problem for this patient, the view of the data would then dynamically adapt for the physician so they can really focus in on the patterns that come out of this information and understand the patient's condition at a deeper level. Finally, Wellsheet is able to predict the most likely next steps that the physician would take for this particular patient and allow those actions to be easily executable directly within the Wellsheet system.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That was time. Any questions from the judges?
I think if your models are wrong, it's really catastrophic in terms of, say, your models decide not to surface some information that ends up being really, really relevant to the patient's health. So I don't know if there's a really question around that, but sort of like how do you sort of update your models? How do you decide if you're doing well?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, there's a very tight feedback loop in terms of what physicians are analyzing, what decisions they're making to ensure that our models are as optimized as possible. So we track everything very closely, but we also display the full set of information, just prioritized for their needs. And so the physician has everything at their fingertips, but the most relevant data is surfaced. And it's really a better paradigm than the EHRs where this data could be buried and them not being able to see it at all.
Did you do any user studies? Like, did you talk to the physicians? How many did you talk to? Did you get buy-in?
Yeah, absolutely. We've put this technology in front of physicians across the country, and they have responded phenomenally to it. We heard a doctor say, I've been waiting 10 years for this type of technology, and when can I use it?
Is there a patient-side angle to this story?
Not directly, although I think eventually patients are going to take more control of their data, and that data needs to get in front of the physician somehow, and it's not going to be through the EHR. So having a prioritized, contextualized layer on top of the existing system allows for that connectivity to really come into play.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So that was all our pitches for this afternoon. I am going to squirrel myself backstage with the judges so we can find out who's winning. Meanwhile, somebody's going to take the stage and do a quick thanks to our sponsors. And we have a couple of other awards to give out while we find out who gets the comically large check. I'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Safa Aliabadi, and I lead sponsorships for Disrupt. As mentioned, this is the first time that we're running the hackathon online, and it was a huge success. A giant thank you to all our hackers, judges, and sponsors. The event would not have gone as smoothly as it did without the help of our partners, DevPost. They provided the hackathon platform and managed the submission process. Thank you, DevPost team. Without further ado, I'd like to invite each of the teams to present the winner of their sponsored custom contest. First up, we have Amazon Alexa.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeff Taylor from Partner Relations at TechCrunch, and the reason you're looking at me instead of one of our good friends from Amazon Alexa is that a sudden illness has prevented them from attending this afternoon. We've had a long-standing relationship with Amazon Alexa at TechCrunch hackathons, and we couldn't be more proud to be able to work with them. Amazon Alexa is a leader in home automation, speech recognition, and intelligent operation dissemination. And we're so pleased to announce the winner of their hackathon, their custom contest hackathon, and that is AI Vision, led by Peter Ma, who will be winning $5,000 plus 10 Amazon Echo Spot devices. Congratulations, Peter. Congratulations, AI Vision.
Next up, we have Bison.
Happy Friday, everyone. For our first hackathon at Bison, we're actually reimagining the vehicle as the next generation smart device. So we asked our hackers if they could reimagine what life would be during the age of autonomy. So with that, I want to thank everyone who participated, and we want to announce our first place winner. It is Karaoke, $5,000. And our second place winner, Talk. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Next up is Here Mobility.
Hi, so this has been an amazing challenge, and we want to thank all the wonderful participants that joined the Here Mobility Challenge. We had amazing and inspiring and super creative solutions that the different groups submitted, and very, very inspiring to see all the different groups working on the Here Mobility SDK.
The Here Mobility SDK enables developers to connect to our Here Mobility marketplace that aggregates different kinds of mobility services. And the Here Mobility SDK actually enables developers to create a full mobility experience to their users using one SDK. And
so thank you to all the groups. And the winner is
the winner is
Blindside. Yay!
They're
coming on.
Thank you, Here Mobility.
Thank you. We thought the group was coming up.
You and me. Next up, we have Novartis.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's so encouraging to see the healthcare world and the tech world merging here together at TechCrunch. Together, we will improve and save patient lives. We are very happy to be here with our Novartis Biome, our new digital initiatives. Heart failure is a disease that's impacted by tens of millions of patients around the world, and what we have asked entrepreneurs to do is to help us improve their lives. I want to thank the dozens of entrepreneurs that submitted their ideas, and let's go for the prizes. So we are very excited to announce the winners of the first ever Novartis Health X World Series Challenge. Here at TechCrunch, we have two prizes. The first prize winner of the virtual hackathon is Wavy. And the first prize winner and grand prize winner of the Extended Innovation Challenge is Vita Health. Thank you.
Thank you, Novartis. Next up, we have Sony Pictures, but due to other issues, they were not able to join us. The winner for the Sony Pictures custom contest wins $9,000 cash, and that is Brian Cottrell. Okay. Great. Next we have Tomtom.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. So yeah, we're super excited. We got a lot of great submissions to use our Maps APIs and mobile SDK. And the winner, of course, of this hackathon has been Ed Arenberg for Around. I don't know where he is. Cool. There you are. Awesome. Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Tomtom.
Cool. In the world, in the world that we live, online and offline are converging. Location is key. So we look forward to seeing what else you guys are going to do with our free mobile Maps SDK. Bye, guys.
All right. Next is United Airlines.
Okay, I'm going to be quick. One, because I'm like really intimidated by the brilliance in the room. Two, the lights are really bright. And three, my flight leaves in an hour and 45 minutes, and they don't hold flights for employees. So people are constantly asking, what's an airline doing at a tech conference? And the answer for us is simple. We want to be great business partners to everybody in the room, to the developers, to the VCs, to the investors. It comes down to this. We're the biggest airline in San Francisco. If you need to get to Shanghai, you need to get to London, to Washington, to New York, to Boston, wherever you need to go to do business, we'll get you there. And then when you want to have fun, we'll get you to fun too. And the ability to get you to the most fun places is why we picked our winner. It's an app called Pickle, and it's all about getting with your friends and figuring out ways to decide where's the best place to go based on what you all like. And I'm going to totally mess up if I try to explain it any better than that, but it was a really cool app. And so we are glad to give each of the winners, like my friend Gopi, anywhere you want to fly in the world on United Airlines, enjoy your trip. That's it.
Thank you, United. And last but not least is Viant.
Hi. So who hasn't had the dream of taking a trip to space? At Beyond, we are devoted to enable anyone to bring their dreams to life and to create their very own virtual world. So our hackathon winner, Nina from Germany, has used our platform to create an amazing virtual reality experience of a weird trip to space. And she did so without any coding skills. So I invite you all to try out our platform on Beyond.io and to download our Beyond app from any app store to see Nina's amazing virtual reality experience now. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Sorry, we have one more. Visa.
Let's see. Oops, sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Navendu Chandra, and I'm part of the Visa Developer Platform team here. We are honored to be joining TechCrunch Disrupt here at the conference and the hackathon. At the onset of this program, we challenge all participants with help Visa reshape commerce and accelerate digital payment acceptance and advance our mission to connect the world. Stepping up to the challenge, we were dazzled by the submissions from the participants all over the world. After much deliberation and discussions, we are excited to announce the winners for the Visa Hackathon as Blindsight. Blindsight is an awe-inspiring group of recent high school graduates who built a wearable device which would reshape the payment experience for the visually impaired. Blindsight's connected device uses machine learning technologies as well as haptic feedback to provide for a better payment experience and has the potential to change payments and commerce for people all over the world. We are grateful for all the submissions, and we look forward to working with developers across the world. You can check us out at developer.visa.com. Come build with us.
Thank you. All right, now I'm going to hand the proceedings over to our Hackmaster, Haye, who will present the winner of the 2018 Disrupt Hackathon.
Hello, beautiful people. It's me again. I did promise you a comically large check, and I'm very eager to give it out. But before I do, we have one more check to hand out from one of our favorite sponsors, Sony Pictures.
Hi, my name is Melissa DuPont. I'm Vice President of International Marketing for Sony Pictures. In Searching, starring John Cho and Anish, directed by first-time director Anish Chagante, a father desperately looks for his missing daughter, and the only clues he has to go to a place which is the most dangerous place for a parent, her social media. The winner of the Searching Challenge and the $9,000 cash prize is Brian Cottrell's sound browser. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And here is the moment you've all been waiting for. We've gone down from 120 teams to 30 teams to the 10 presenting tonight. But I just carefully listened in on the judges and saw how they were thinking about the performances on stage tonight. And it was a resounding winner, ladies and gentlemen, which is Face Styler. Can we have the Face Styler team up here, please? There they are. Thank you all so much for coming, and see you next year. Cheers.